Snuffy, my man, we gotta talk, cause this is not what I'm looking for right now. I need a unit who can sneak around back of the piggyback stack, and like, they're gonna hear you coming from a mile away, my guy. Especially if you're gonna be dragging your balls through the dirt like a plow. You know, I'm just gonna run it anyway. Maybe he can slowly waddle his way. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, where despite the fact that this game is no longer receiving updates from the developers, it's got more new content for me to explore than ever. Like just today, I found mods that introduced new units, new themed factions, new playable maps, but the most common request that I get from you guys in the comments is to find more hidden units. These secret units, I've found a bunch of them already, but there are definitely others out there, and like, they're always the most extravagant, broken, hilarious part of this game, so I feel like that's a pretty good place to start. I'm probably not gonna bring you guys along for the Easter egg hunt, because it ends up being me rubbing my face up against stuff hoping that it starts to glow, but if I find anything, you'll be the first to know. Okay, we've got the Club Master. Is this a weird perspective thing, or is dude like 12 feet tall? Okay, so he's not quite a giant. He just makes the regular clubbers look, what's the nice way of putting this, vertically challenged, or bite-sized, down to earth. But funny enough, we don't have that many large, regular guys in this game. Like, the only one that comes to mind is the King. So maybe we can have Lord Puffy Pants face off against our new Club Master and see how things go. I mean, I didn't expect him to throw the clubs, yet I'm more surprised by the earthbending. Or the fact that the King is somehow still in this? Dude, how are you alive right now? Are you kidding me? He took a golden retriever-sized boulder off the family jewels and just kept on trucking. There's a reason he's the king. Now I can't help but wonder, would those boulders and clubs crush the crotch of a lesser man? Like, if we sent out lowly squires, are they gonna get absolutely worked? Yep, it feels like it. They ricochet around between the units. This is such a strange yet unique ability. Yeah, okay, so they won. And just to like put it into perspective, the club itself is probably bigger than the squire. So it's not like you're getting hit with a baseball bat. It's like you're getting hit with a telephone pole. Oh, that's who these club masters remind me of. It's the mace spinner. Yeah, very similar. You know, these are the ones that would turn into a tornado if they had the cheerleader backing them up. Unfortunately, we're not going to give them any moral support this time around. I just kind of want to see what happens when a whole bunch of clubs and maces go flying. It's somehow even more violent than I had anticipated, which is really just the mark of a good secret unit. I think we have a pretty good idea about how the clubs work, but now I'm really interested in the boulders. I can't think of any other unit in this game that earthbends. And like, it seems like they get thrown around about belly button height, we'll say, you know, maybe a couple inches lower or higher, you know, if you're a well-endowed gentleman. But for a hobbit, that would be about face height, which really interests me. So I think we're gonna slow this. Oh. Nope, they still aim for the crotch of the hobbit. That's a real low blow, guys. Literally. Oh, it's just the best watching these little idiots get crushed. The irony of being treated like bowling pins when having gigantic pins thrown at you. It's fantastic. So it doesn't really seem like those boulders serve any other purpose other than to, you know, completely flatten the enemy. Still great. What do you think that is? I want to get out there to see, but it won't let me. I keep bouncing off an invisible wall. Like, I can't leave the boundary, so it can't be a secret unit, can it? I mean, it kind of looks like a butterfly with a string of beads hanging out of its... Maybe it's just a Rorschach test for people who have a dirty mind. I just spent about 20 minutes going on what I can only describe as a wild goose chase, because I found Secret Unit Chicken, but not just once. I found him 2, 3, 4, 5 times, but all it gave me was the Chicken Man, which we already had, so that was a bit of a wet fart, but this one looks more promising. We've unlocked the Ancient Tank? I mean, it's no farm animal, but it just looks like a guy giving a piggyback ride. Oh, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. It's actually 2 guys giving piggyback rides. Well, funny enough, this actually seems like a somewhat strategic unit. Like, the guy in the bottom's knees are clearly getting the worst of it, but they've got a real big, burly shield, and then a melee weapon, and then a ranged weapon. All for 800? That seems like a pretty good deal. They should be able to do some damage. Let's have it face off against a couple of hoplites. I feel like that's kind of what it's built to defeat, right? Similar era? Oh, it's actually 2 ranged weapons. That's even better. We so rarely have ranged units that are able to defend themselves. Okay, that's a lot more than being able to defend yourself. I'm gonna run it back against some barbarians because I need to see if what I'm picking out is true here. That shield seems really, really strong, right? Because like, normal tabs shields, they're held up by, you know, soft, shitty arms. So they could get bumped, they go out of the way, and then they're not protecting anything. But when you put it on wheels and have it firmly framed against the ground, then there's just no answer to that. Like, what if we go a little bit bigger? We could use a couple of knights. I don't think they're gonna easily fall to these ranged attacks. They've got shields, they've got armor, but then again, I don't see how they can get around. Oh, okay, they're smarter. They're smarter than I give them credit for. I just assume that tabs units are borderline lobotomized because they always have been, but I guess if they accidentally find their way around the back, then yeah, the piggyback stack kind of falls. But what if they can't find their way around to the back of the piggyback stack? Like, if we have them shoulder to shoulder, then this should do a lot of work, right? Not only because they have the big shields, but they've also got little shields to the side as well. Thank you. One farmer deciding the gravity isn't for him. Could you maybe not? We don't need people trying to steal the show here. The first volley's gonna take out a whole bunch of you guys, but that's a formidable wall. I gotta say, I don't see how any unit is gonna get around that. This might be one of the most practical and well-designed secret units that I've seen yet, which is saying a lot considering it's literally 3 guys stacked on top of each other. Actually, you know what, speaking of the Chicken Man, why don't we bring him back? I'm sure it's probably been years since I've used this unit in all reality. I'd be curious to see if the chickens can kind of weasel their way around back, or if they could just explode like snowballs pelted against these shields. Not quite the result I was looking for, guys. If there's any unit in this game that will attack unpredictably and sometimes from behind, it's the wobbly horse. So I'm thinking we could have a bit of a cavalry charge. Normally I would say that's a real bad idea against shields, except they don't really have spears, right? They have like throwing spears, not quite the same. I'm sure some of the horses are gonna take some damage. Oh my god, it was like a brick wall. I thought for sure they would bowl him over, but these guys absolutely stood their ground. Huh. Okay, so is there any way to knock over these shields? They seem to not care. We've got a couple other large and in-charge animals that we could have charge at the front. You know, like the Grand Bison, maybe Snuffy? Oh, that Snuffy might need to be returned. He's a real chonker. What happened? Snuffy, my man, we gotta talk, because this is not what I'm looking for right now. I need a unit who can sneak around back of the piggyback stack, and like, they're gonna hear you coming from a mile away, my guy. Especially if you're gonna be dragging your balls through the dirt like a plow. You know what, I'm just gonna run it anyway. Maybe he can slowly waddle his way. Not like this, Snuffy. Oh, man. Everybody remain calm. Okay, I got Snuffy on a paleo diet. He's looking much better now. He should be ready to charge into battle, just like his bison friends who are completely stood up. No, he didn't really do it, did he? Huh. So, yeah, even the biggest, strongest, heaviest units in the game just kind of bounce off of these shields. They're really impressive. Funny enough, I think I spotted another secret unit while we were fighting, right? No? Oh, I assumed that it was gonna be the sword, but instead it's a centaur? Oh, this is like the best of both worlds. Well, that lasted all of 20 seconds, but I take it back. This is the most impressed I've been in a new unit in a long time. Because like, it's both a wobbly warrior and a lobotomized future glue product, which is just amazing. You can't find this kind of thing anywhere else. I'm willing to bet that he would have beef with farmers, right? A horseman, not a big fan of anybody who handles horses. Oh, his walk is just horrifying. I don't like the way that the knees move. Hey, my guy, you got a bow on your back. Are you gonna use that anytime soon? No, I suppose you could, yeah, kill all these farmers with one hand behind your back. Fair enough. Do you think a couple of cowboys could wrangle a unit like that? I doubt it, but it'll be interesting to see where they're gonna latch on to. Oh, yeah, you see, they tied him up, and he didn't appreciate that. Surprise, surprise. Here's one of those deep philosophical questions that I know you guys keep coming back for. If your father was a centaur, and your mother was a centaur, and you are half your mother, half your father, then who's to say you couldn't be born human? Or horse, right? Like, how would you know which half of who you'll inherit? I mean, for all you guys know, my parents could have been centaurs. Or I could be a centaur in all reality. You guys know what my legs look like. Oh, they are shooting arrows. Somehow. They're not picking up their bows, but they're definitely farting them out. I'm kind of impressed the cavalry has been in this for longer than I would have expected. You know, like the centaurs, you would expect them to have a little bit more cohesion, considering it's only one brain, but the cavalry, it schmooves different. Maybe they would be more inclined to shoot the bows if they had a whole bunch of little hated targets. 69 hobbits could honestly win this, to be perfectly fair. They're tricksy. They're the kind to hop on your back and ride you, and you don't even have to be a horse for that to be the case. Come on, somebody. I think the swords disappear, and then, oh, yeah. The swords disappear, they get their bows, and then I'm guessing they just kind of swap back into the sword? What a strange unit. Come to think of it, not all of the hidden units that I have yet to find are part of the hidden units mod. You guys have been telling me in the comments that the Animal Kingdom mod has hidden units, and that they're not easy to find because you have to go to hidden maps. I would have never thought that this was here, right? Because like there's an empty spot, and normally when you get mod maps, like the Egypt maps, they just kind of get inserted in, but we've got 2 new places to go. Now I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea how to pronounce the name of this map. I'll just point out that it kind of looks like a Taco Bell cursed butthole, and then we'll move on from there. I don't even really want to particularly fight here, to be honest. Like, it's a really cool map, don't get me wrong, but I'm mostly interested in getting the secret units and then vamoosing, and I would assume, yep, this would definitely be a secret unit. It's been a while since we've unlocked, Dinosaur? A plague bearer? I have to be missing something here, right? Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited to fight a friggin' Brontosaurus. It's super impressive. But, like, it's still just a Brontosaurus with boogies in its nose. So, like, what makes it a plague bearer? I'm honestly kind of afraid to find out, but I feel like the raptor is probably the sensible thing to send out there. You know, he's used to hunting this kind of thing. Worst case scenario, they get stomped out and we laugh at the dumb dinosaurs killing each other. Seems like a win-win to me. In the streets of the Renaissance, too, it's super fitting. Oh, what the hell is wrong with this thing? Why is it spewing acid from its eyes? Right, because like, all my dinosaurs, well, I shouldn't say all of them, 90% of them were poisoned to death, 10% of them were turned into raptor patties. I have no idea what would make for a thematic battle with this thing, but I'll tell you right now, whatever I use, it's gonna be backed up by healers, because that lizard needs God. Maybe we could try pirates? Pirates versus dinosaurs is kind of cool, right? We could get some blunderbusses out there with the flintlocks in front of them and some bomb throwers. It's been a while since I've used a nice mixed army. Maybe a cannon as well. Yeah, there we go. Do your best, guys. I believe that I'm stuck on the roof. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. It's been a while since I've been in these streets. It's like a zombie dinosaur. Or maybe, it kind of like, it reminds me of a dragon who went on a bender. Drank way too much, and after that like 20th shot of Jaeger, decided, I'm gonna take it out on everyone around me. I think it was technically the Ice Age that killed the dinosaurs, so maybe we can just run it back? The Ice Archers are about as close as we're gonna get, and you guys barely cooled it off. Oh, it's doing the thing again, guys. Oh, maybe I'm cooling it off more than I think. Oh my God, what is wrong with you? This is fine, there are more of us than it. We can do it, it's slowing down. It's a cold-blooded lizard. It should not be able to recover from this particularly well. Keep shooting. Moving at the speed of smell here, but I love it and I hate it. It is an absolute sleep paralysis demon of a unit. I hate the fact that it inhales before it exhales everything inside of it. I have to just kill this thing outright. Because like, I'm wondering if it is like some kind of undead dinosaur, could it get back up? Or would it like change forms? I don't know, man. Honestly, with the mods and tabs, anything's on the table. I have no idea, so we're just gonna shish kebab it real quick. I know it's not gonna survive this. I'm just kind of looking to see how it reacts to dying. Okay, reacts very similar to every other unit in this game, but now you can kind of see what I mean. You know, like, does it have weird exterior acidic sinuses or socially awkward boogers? Funny enough, this isn't the only large weapons-grade breath lizard that we have in the game. We also have the greater dragon, and I mean, this isn't really a fair fight. I could probably get more plague bearers in here, right? Whole stampede of them looking for that delicious, delicious star leaf. I just want to see if they could do anything against the dragon, because the dragon is so overpowered. Yeah, not only could they do something, they very, very easily did something. I don't know if they poisoned him to death or just drowned him in the streets. So it doesn't look like big units really have much of a resistance to the poison that they're slinging. Like if we use something like the Ice Giant, they're about as big as it gets. A bit of a 3-on-3, and the Ice Giants get to breathe first. Bit of an advantage to them, and yet they did not even kind of stand a chance. I don't know, man. I really do like the design and the execution of this dinosaur, but I just don't see how I can practically fight it. Wait, what am I thinking? We don't need to practically fight him. What if we just attach a bunch of balloons to him and send him into space? I'm trying to take things way too seriously. I think more tabs and less battle simulator. There we go. A whole bunch of red balloons. I don't really know what I was thinking, to be honest. That guy's gotta be at least a couple thousand pounds. Something tells me a birthday worth of decorations is not gonna be able to get the job done. Guys, don't let him back down. And don't crowd around underneath him, for the love of God, because we both know what's going to happen. Oh, he's taking battle damage. Do you see what I mean? I thought there was a chance that something about him might change as the battle progresses, because he just looked weird. So let's try another battle, except for this time, we won't have him in midair. I'm gonna have to use a whole bunch of units, because if I use one big one, I get the feeling they're just gonna die of poison before they do enough damage to rip this guy's sides off. And it might not even work. Honestly, maybe the balloons rip the sides off and something like a bunch of musket shots will just kill him. Yeah. So what's different about the balloons? That is so weird. Maybe a couple of snuffies would be able to fight it out? Get some damage in, really rough him up. I can't quite figure, oh, yeah. Or maybe it's how much he's outputting. Oh, I didn't think of that. The fights have been happening so quickly that I just assumed that it was battle damage we were seeing, but maybe he's literally puking his guts up. So if the battle goes on for long enough, like when he was floating around in the air, then he just kind of expels all of himself. So we need a unit that can survive long enough to prove our theory. What if we went with the harpooner? Maybe we can hold him in place for long enough, have a backup string of harpooners, something like that? Yeah, there we go. Okay, pull him in and then just hold him still. Even though I don't foresee this working all that well, he can still turn his neck pretty easily. Yeah, guys, you gotta aim for the head. You gotta hold the head. Oh, this is just the opposite of what we're looking for. You've given him an additional attack. Are they fighting each other? I think they're like turned into zombies. That's so weird. Or maybe it's driving them mad? Yeah, you see, they're not on our team anymore. Nope, that's not good. So there is a lot happening with this strange dinosaur. This might require another episode. I think the total for today was 4 hidden units, 5 chickens. So overall, I would say pretty good, and some of which I'm looking forward to returning to. Actually, let me know as well, do you guys want to see certain battles with this dinosaur? Is there anything specific that I could do with it that would reveal its secrets? You know what, fuck it, I'm leaving that in. What I'm trying to say is let me know what else you guys want to see in tabs, and then maybe I'll return again soon. But thanks so much for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.